Anin wabshke sinikwe indigenous segna and donjaba bawating da dan jabam kak makina minising Nishiki and Dodem Ojibwe Anishinaabe Queen Dao. Good afternoon, my name is Colleen Medicine and I'm here today with the Sioux Tribe Language and Cultural Department, and our language team is pleased to bring you our 16th virtual Anishinaabemowin lesson, and today's lesson is on putting things. So you'll hear about putting things in your home and how to say that in the language. And so I'll turn it over to our instructors. They'll each give their introduction and then we'll get right into the lesson. And so Gintam Susan, Miigwech.
Ani Miigwech Colleen. Ani Kinawea, Susan Indigenous about Bidab and Aquay, Indigenous. Bouting and Dunjaba, meanwhile Bouting in the Da. Bouting Anishinaabek and Dodebendagwas, Maingen and Dodem. Sioux Askwith. I live in the Sioux. I'm from the Sioux, kind of like a ingrown toenail in the Sioux. I belong to Sioux Tribe, and the Wolf Clan is what I also belong to. Nahau, Ging Tam Paul.
Aho. Ani Bojo. Paul Blondeau, Indigenous. Maingan do Anishinaabe Northwind. Bateng Donjaba Scandia and Denda Gizen Dodem. I'm Paul Blondeau. I am Sioux Tribe, live in Scandia. My native name is Maingan, and Mgeze is Dodem. Miigwech, Kingdom Shirley.
Ani Kinagoya, Shirley Recollet Indigenous, Wikwem Kong Dunjaba, Bakting, Dada, Wawashkish and Dodem, Kipikwe, Anishinaabe. I'm Shirley Recollet. I'm from Mkoomi, Manitoulin Island. I live here in Sioux, Ontario. Deer is my clan, and Springwater is my Anishinaabe Indian name. Kitam Cecil.
Anin, Yigdong Wasa Anin, Ojibwe Minoa Jaganashi and Dao, Jijok and Dodem, Bao Ting and Donjaba, Bao Ting and Dada. My name is Cecil Pavlat. I am Crane Clan from Bao Ting, place of the Rapids, otherwise known as Sault Ste. Marie. Nahaudash, Naj Tada.
Miigwech Cecil, Minwak Kina. It says here, welcome to Sioux Tribe Language and Culture's 16th virtual Anishinaabe lesson, and you can find the other 15 of them on Facebook. Language and Culture. Okay, all of us already did the introductions, but I thought I'd put them down so that you can see them, because I bet you can, you know what this writing says. Anin kina wea. Hello, all you people, all the everybody's, everyone. Susan, Indigenous. Susan is what I'm called. Bouting ndo njaba ndonjaba. That means where I'm from. Minwa is and. Bouting ndida. Bouting is where I live. Nde, that's me. Da, I live it. Bouting Anishinaabek, that is the native people in the Sioux. And do the Bendagwas, I belong to them. I belong with them. Maingen and Dodem, that's wolf, is my Dodem, which is kind of sounding like totem, and it basically has that same meaning, Dodem. Now, how much da? So you're starting to be a great reader. Okay, as Colleen mentioned earlier, our lesson today is about putting things. So the word tone, that O sounds like O, tone, he or she puts something. Now, remember, we always divide our language into things that are alive and not alive. And there is another word for putting things that are alive. Today we're just looking at the stuff that's not alive, and there's plenty of them. And then when you use tone, you have to say what you're putting, and then you also have to say where you're putting it. So tone is he or she put something somewhere, and that something is not alive. You need to say what and where, and then what you're putting, by the way, is just one thing. We're talking, so you can't say I'm putting two hats on the chair. Nope. Just with this, you say I'm putting one thing. Of course, we can say there are two, but we're going to go for the easy stuff today. Tone. Now, if you want to talk about putting something somewhere, you have to have a word for that. You have to have something that you're going to put somewhere. So we thought, oh, paper would be a good thing, especially because this one word is kind of like one word fits all. It's like any kind of papery thing. So it could be like a sheet of paper, a book, a newspaper, some little ticket or note, like even a Post-it note, or a notebook. So Mzinigan was a convenient word. Most people have one of those things, and probably most of them in your home. Here's how to say it. Mzinigan, Mzinigan, Mzinigan. The zin is the emphasis, Mzinigan. And then that M, you always pronounce it like that, with your mouth closed. Mzinigan, Mzinigan. And so for that reason, you sometimes don't hear the M very well, because that kind of a sound is kind of quietish, especially if it goes fast. Now, so to talk about where something is located, we also had to have another thing here. So when you put ing at the end of an item, that means that you're telling it's somewhere in the vicinity of it. So here's our word dopwin. That came from last week. Dopwin is a table. But if you want to say on the table, or somewhere by the table, or under the table, or in the table, if it has a drawer, let's say, or at the table, all you do is stick that ing ending on there, and someone knows that you're talking about in the vicinity of the table someplace. Okay, so dopwinning is that. Dopwin is the table. Dopwinning is somewhere in the vicinity of the table. Okay. Now, what if you want to be more specific? And honestly, most of the time we do want to be a little more specific. And so we can be specific by saying gidje. In fact, gidje is not a word on its own. It's a little prefix or a thing that you stick on the front of a word to say on top of or on. So let's look at the example. Mzinigan ngi ton gidje dopwinning. Now, Mzinigan, we got that. That's the paper. Ngi, that means I in the past. Ton, put. Gidje, on top of the table. Gidje dopwinning. Mzinigan ngi ton gidje dopwinning. I'll note this little note I put on there. I could have used Mzinigan to mean any of the items that we talked about earlier. So it could be the newspaper, whatever. So at our house, if you get the newspaper, you don't always say newspaper, you just say the paper. Have you read the paper yet? So this would be how you would say it. Mzinigan ngi ton gidje dopwinning. Mzinigan ngi ton gidje dopwinning. Now, another example. Mzinigan ngi ton gidje pubwin. Pubwin is another word from last week. It means chair. So Mzinigan ngi ton gidje pubwin in this case. So look at the word order. It says paper I put on top of the chair. It doesn't say on top of the chair I put the paper. So anyway, that's the order. You might be wanting to look at that. Ngi says I. Yeah, I already did it. I think that might be it. Ani Paul Gintam.
Ani kinuaya on dejnakas. Majtara. Mzinigan, Giton, Gijim, Chisuk. Chisuk is a floor. Mzinigan, Giton, Gijim, Chisuk is I put the paper on the floor. Mzinigan, Giton, Gijit Taswining. I put the paper on the cabinet. Taswin, it's cabinet. Sinagan Giton Gidget Taswining. I put the paper on the cabinet. Oh, Biinji. Biinji is another specific word for where something is located. It means in or inside. Biinji. Zinchigan Giton Biinji Taswining. Oh, we got Mizinagan Giton Biinji Taswining. Mizinigan is the paper. Giton, I put it there. Biinji, inside. Taswining, the cabinet. Oh,
Listen,
miigwech.
that was Colleen. Miigwech, Colleen.
Noggin is a dish of some kind. A plate, a bowl. Noggin is something that holds something. So, for example, we have Noggin, Giton, Biinji Taswining. I put the bowl or plate in the cabinet. Noggin, Giton, Gijit Dopwining, Dopin table. Noggin, Giton, Gijit Dopwining. I put the dish on the table. Okay, let's review some of the new words today. Mizinigan, paper item. Could be just a paper, a book, magazine, newspaper, notebook, anything paper. Tone is to put something. He or she put an item inanimate, not alive, someplace. So tone is not alive, is a thing. We put something somewhere. He or she put something someplace. Tone. Gidje is on top. Biinji is inside. In the review of words from last week, dopwin, table. Dopwining would be on the table or at that place. You put that ing on those. So dopwin, table. Pobwin, chair. Chisuk, floor. Taaswin, cabinet. Dopwin, table. Pobwin, chair. Chisuk, floor. Taaswin, cabinet. Kintam Shirley.
Ani kinagoya. Shirley dishnakas. How much dada? Waskonenjagan. Waskonenjagan. Light. Waskonenjagan. Light. Light, again, lamp. It was connect. What was konenjagan? Giton gidje topoining. Was konenjagan? Giton gidje topoining. So again, was konenjagan is a lamp. Giton I nin gidje topoining. So I put the lamp on top of the table. Wawaskunenjigan, Giton, Binja, Taaswin. Again, Wawaskunenjigan, Paskunenjigan, the lamp, Giton, Nin, Biinja, Taaswin. Biinja is inside, so I put the lamp in the cupboard, inside the cupboard. Nagan, miwani, nagan is a plate. What Paul was talking about, nagan. So enjig zibig naganing. So you see that nagan in there. Enjig zibig naganing is where you do your dishes. Enjig zibig naganing. So enjig zibig naganing. Nagan gito. Enjigzibi nagneng nagan gito. So that enjigzibi nagneng, that's where you put the dish. That's where you wash the dishes. So then you're telling a plate nagan. So you put the plate or dish in that where you wash the dishes. So enjigzibi nagneng nagan gito. I put the dish in the zinc. Nagan giton gece gışap kızgınning. Oh, baka gışap kızgın. It's a stove. A gışap kızgın. It was a stove. Nagan giton gece gışap kızgınning. Nagan giton gece gışap kızgınning. I put the dish on the stove. Nagan giton binja gışap kızgınning. Nagan giton binja gışap kızgınning. So again, binja, gece on top, binja inside. So I put the dish in the stove or inside the stove. Komi taaswin, refrigerator, ice cabinet. Mkoomi taaswin, refrigerator. Nagan giton binja komi taaswining. Nagan giton binja komi taaswining. I put the dish in the refrigerator. Nige ukdaket, you could say nagan giton binja komi taaswin. Binja komi taaswin, you just put it in there. Binja komi taaswining is like a location. Biinja. I put the dish in the refrigerator. So just to review some words. Waskunenjigan. Waskunenjigan. It's a lamp or a light. Kunenjigan. Enjigzibignagning. Enjigzibignagning. It's a zinc. A gashap kizagan, stove of any kind. Komi taaswin, refrigerator. Mishwananandan, some other part of the sentence. A tone. She or he put something someplace. Tone, like you put it somewhere, or you're asking somebody to put something somewhere. Manda tone. Gi, again, it's in the past, like gi nin, and I did it already. So gi tone, already put it somewhere. Gije, it's on top for me. Biinji. Ing is a general ending that sometimes is located in a zone. Ing. Bishkuguna binja taaswining giton mokman. Binja taaswining, so it's right in there, inside. So Biinji taaswin, shigegi shpin kedin, Biinji taaswin. So you just put it just on top of the taaswin, like inside, you just put it there. But Biinji taaswin, you kind of like shove it in there. Naha? Naha, Cecil, kita.
Now, Anin Kinagoya, Cecil Indigenous Cause. Now, Maj Tada. We often say by the to tell where something is located. So we use the add-on jiigi. Jiigi. For example, jiigi dopwen, by the table, close proximity to, near the table. Jiigi dopwen. No, you can leave off the ing ending if you want to, since jiigi, like ing, is a sort of add-on. So some may say jiigi dopwening, and some may not. Some may just say jiigi dopwen. Either would be acceptable. Next slide. Jiigi pabwen. Jiigi pabwen, by the chair. Pabwen, chair. Jiigi wasetchigan. Jiigi wasetchigan, by the window. Wasetchigan is the window. Jiigi, by, or near. Jiigi asmatik, by the wall. Asmatik is the wall. Jiigi, by, close proximity of the wall. Jiigi asmatik. Jiigi taaswin, by the cupboard. Jiigi taaswin. So again, we could put that ing ending on there if we wanted. Jiigi taaswining. Jiigi pabwining. Jiigi wasetchiganing. Jiigi asmatiganing. Now, jiigi, by, near. Jiigi waskonanjigan, by the lamp. Jiigi waskonanjigan. Waskonanjigan being the lamp or light. Jiigi gijapkizagan, by the stove. Gijapkizagan is the stove. Jiigi, by, close proximity to. Jiigi Mkoomi taaswin. Jiigi Mkoomi taaswin, by the refrigerator. Earlier it was mentioned Mkoomi taaswin, literal is ice cupboard. Mazinigan and Giton Jiigi wasetchigan. I put the book by the window. Mazinigan, the book. Anything paper. And gi, I did. So tone, put. I did put jiigi by wasetchigan, the window. I put the book by the window. Now, if you look at that literally, it would say paper I did put near the window. So it just can be switched up that way. You could say jiigi wasetchigan and giton mazinigan. Would mean the same thing basically. Mazinigan and giton jiigi waskonanjigan. I put the newspaper by the lamp, not chair.
Oh.
A little edit error there, trying to cross me up, didn't work. Zinigan and giton jiigi waskonanjigan, by the lamp. How? Nice try though. Next slide, please. Nagan and giton jiigi taaswin. Nagan, dish, and gi, I did. Ton, put. Jiigi, by. Taaswin, cupboard. Nagan and giton jiigi taaswin. I put the dish by the cupboard. Literal, the dish I did put by the cupboard. Nagan and giton jiigi waskonanjigan. Noggin, and Giton Jiga, Oskonanjagun. I put the dish by the lamp. Again, noggin is the dish. And Giton, I did put, already done it, Jiga by Waskonanjagun, the lamp. Now, Mazinigan and Giton Jiga Asmatik. Mazinigan and Giton Jiga Asmatik. I put the notebook by the wall. So again, Mazinigan is the notebook, newspaper, paper, magazine, whatever. In Giton, I did put, so I already did, Jiga Asmatik, by close proximity to the wall, Asmatik. Noggin and Giton Jiga Dopwin. Noggin and Giton Jiga Dopwin. Again, noggin, dish, and Giton, I did put, Jiga, by, near, close proximity, Dopwin, of the table. I put the dish by the table. So last week we learned our words for 10 items found in many homes. This week we learned 2 more items, Mazinigan, Minawa, Noggin, a paper, and a dish. Minawa means and 3 more location terms, Gidja, on top of, Biinji, inside, and Jiga, near, by, next to. And our action word this time is tone, to put something. He or she is putting something somewhere. So we hope you will use these words and sentences, patterns in your everyday life as you continue to learn our beautiful Anishinaabemowin language. And again, we always want to encourage you to use repetition, read it, see it, write it, say it, all those things, the more the better. So same old advice, practice makes better. Miigwech kinagwea. Thank you, everyone. Wawani bomsa nongwa. Walk around in a good way today.
Bama Pikinawea. Bama.
Bama,
Happy
Pikinawea.
Happy
Amigwech.